afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to take a moment and think of the first word that comes into your head when I say man's best friend. Of course, it was a dog, right? That's because this wonderful species has become so well known and popular to us. The dog is generally recognized by its keen athletic abilities, boldness, and sociability with all other animals and humans. However, according to the Humane Society, there are over 2,000 cases reported in the media alone in which humans abuse these wonderful animals. They are abused not only physically, but emotionally. One event that greatly promotes this abuse is the Iditarod sled dog race. Now in 1925, when this race was originally created, it wasn't used for abuse. The Iditarod sled dog race was created to honor the sled dogs that transported medicines in 1925 to a town that was full of sickness. The race was created to show the wonderful talents of these dogs. However, over the years, this sled dog race has only promoted abuse within its training, the actual race, and after the race. The dogs must endure great training. The dogs must be isolated in order to get rid of their sociability. They must also learn to run for very long distances for great speeds, or any speed that matches up to the musher's ideal standards. The dogs must also learn how to eat and produce feces on cue. If the dog fails to match up to the musher's standards, they're abused greatly. Ashley Keith, a former Iditarod musher, said that one time she experienced a musher beat small puppies with a wiffle bat. The puppies were then crying and trying to get out of the way, but they were stuck in their harness and had to endure this horrible abuse. During the race, the dogs also experienced horrific experiences. They must compete in sub-zero below temperatures. They must go from hours and hours without any rest or food or water for long periods of time. Since they do get few stops, the dogs take advantage of it, and they drink any water that is available to them. However, most of the water that they have to drink is generally contaminated. The water has many diseases such as malaria and other deadly diseases caused by feces and different mosquitoes. The actual Iditarod website has said that there have been over 300 cases in which dogs have died. One other factor in the Iditarod race is the traps. Many Alaskans usually put out traps in order to catch bears and wolves. However, many sled dog races forget about these traps, and the dogs get their foots caught in these traps. Generally, the dogs will usually result in just agonizing pain or maybe a broken foot, but in some circumstances, they also get an amputated paw. Mushers are usually so concerned about winning the races that they generally have to leave these dogs behind, resulting in most likely death for the dogs. After the race, the dog's fur is usually used for coats and other expenses for the humans. Many mushers also use the practice of culling, in which they kill any dogs that do not match up to the standards they want for racing. They can be killed because they're old, because they don't have enough stamina or speed, or generally because the mushers don't like the dogs. These horrible acts go unaware. So take a stand today by not promoting these races. Show your support for companies like PETA who stand against these races. Take a stand today for these innocent dogs.